Rancangan dasar ekonomi baru adalah tindakan tegas untuk menjaminkan masa hadapan.
Beliau telah mengilhamkan dasar luar negara. Beliau telah menubuhkan pelbagai agensi.
Nyatalah dasar ekonomi baru telah mencetus perubahan itu.
Pendek kata, apa yang kita lakukan hari ini adalah kesinambungan yang telah digagaskan oleh Allahyarham Tun Razak.
Pemikiran yang boleh mengikatkan semua pihak, semua keturunan, semua golongan.
Assalamualaikum to all dear listeners. So today we'll be talking about our second Prime Minister, which is referred to the father of development, Tun Abdul Razak bin Datuk Haji Hussein. So what are you guys waiting for? Lend us your ears and let's talk about his legacy with him. Right now we are at his house, which is known as the Memorial today. Let's go. Tun Abdul Razak was born in Pulau Keladi, Pahang on March 11, 1920. Tun Abdul Razak is the only child to Datuk Hussein and Hajah Teh Fatimah. As someone who being labelled as bright student, Tun Abdul Razak received his early education at the Kampung Langgar Malay Elementary School, Pekan, Pahang. He was a very exceptional student until he was admitted to further his studies at Malay College, Kuala Kangsar in 1934.
Now, I will talk about Tun Abdul Razak's political contribution. On the 31st of August 1970, Rukun Negara has been introduced to unite the involved race in the riot incident of 13 May 1969. The content of Rukun Negara prioritizing democratic, fair, equitable, liberal and progressive. Next, Zone of Peace, Freedom and Neutrality, known as the FUN, has been introduced to change Malaysian foreign policy, which was previously pro-Western to a neutral policy. In the year of 1971 in Kuala Lumpur, the agreement is signed by the foreign minister of ASEAN members such as Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore and Thailand. Lastly, Tun Abdul Razak has established Barisan Nasional on the 1st of January 1973. The reason is to replace the party Perikatan and strengthen the political security of Malaysia's ruling party in the post-event era. He then aided party members to initiate what he called national resilience through political stability. The formation of the through addition of Perikatan components such as UMNO, MCA and MIC. With the inclusion of Gerakan parties and PAS as well as several parties from Sabah and Sarawak.
My name is Hazim and I will explain about FELDA. What is FELDA? FELDA is in Malay name is Lembaga Kemajuan Tanah Persekutuan and the English name is Federal Land Development Authority. The main purpose of the establishment of FELDA is to address the settlement of the rural poor to newly developed areas to strengthen their economy. The establishment of FELDA was on 6 July 1956 and was inspired by our second Prime Minister Tun Abdul Razak. Establishment of the accordance with the Land Development Act 1959-1956 with only a capital of RM 10 million. In 1961, the inaugural FELDA oil palm settlement was opened with 3.75 km square of the land. As of year 2000, 6,855.2 km square of land under the FELDA scheme in the concentrated in oil palm. FELDA has diversified its activity from the original land development activities to the other economic efforts, some of which are not related to the relocation. Although FELDA has subsidiaries involved in business such as marketing, transportation and petroleum. Nowadays, we can see the rise up of the quality of life for the rural area, especially for the peneroka. If I can give the example, the price of palm oil reached the highest price in January this year with RM 5,600 per ton. Can you just imagine how happy the peneroka at that time? There are 3 states in Peninsular Malaysia that have a lot of FELDA. the state of Pahang, Perak and Johor. If I can give the example. In Pahang, we have the biggest Felda with 25 parts in it named Felda Jengka. Felda Jengka 1 until Felda Jengka 25. In Perak, we have Felda Besaut 1 until Felda Besaut 5, Felda Nenering, Felda Trolak Utara, Selatan Timur and Felda Kampung Soeharto. In Johor, we have Felda Tengaru 1 until Felda Tengaru 7, Felda Semencu, Felda Sungai Sibul, Felda Pengelit Timur, Ulu Pengelit and Felda Lingyu. This shows that the initiative made by Tun Razak was a successful initiative to rise up the quality of life of the people in the rural area. The National Operational Council (NOC) in Malaysia created a new economic policy (NEP), also known as Dasar Ekonomi Baru (DEB), as a social engineering and affirmative action initiative in the wake of the 13 May incident. This strategy was put into the effect in 1971 and lasted for 20 years before being replaced in 1991 by the National Development Policy (NDP). The NEP was designed as a two-pronged approach to end poverty for all Malaysians, as well as to lessen and eventually racial identification based on occupation and geography. By gradually expanding the economy, the policy aimed to accomplish its goals and establish a goal of significantly lowering the prevalence of absolute poverty by 1990. There are three main objectives in this policy, which are to achieve national unity, socio-economic restructuring, and to minimize the level of poverty in the country. The NEP's stated objective were the abolition of poverty and economic restructuring in order to do away with the association of ethnicity and economic function. The primary goal was to change Malaysian economic ownership ratio from 2.4 to 33 to 63 to 30, 40 and 30 for Bumiputra, other nation and foreigners. This way to be accomplished by redistributing the wealth in order to raise Bumiputra's ownership of business from their previous 2.4% to 30% of the share of the national wealth. Thank you.
Another of his contribution in the academic sector is Petroleum Nasional Berhad, also known as Petronas. It's a state-owned corporation that oversees Malaysia's oil and gas resources. The corporation was founded in 1974 and is fully owned by the government of Malaysia. It is vested with all of Malaysia's oil and gas resources and it is tasked with the development and enhancements. Almost every aspect of the industry is covered by the academy and its subsidiaries, including upstream exploration, oil and gas production, downstream oil refining, marketing and distribution of petroleum products, gas processing, gas transmission, pipeline network operation, liquefied natural gas, as known as LNG, marketing and petrochemical manufacturing and marketing. Along with these fields, Petronas has also entered the shipping, automobile engineering and real estate investing.
Next, I will explain further about constitution of Tun Abdul Razak on social perspective. Social contribution is an active effort to improve employment or educational opportunities for members of minority groups and for women. Before Tun Abdul Razak was appointed to be a Prime Minister, he was active in helping the education to grow. On 1955, he introduced the Education Committee, who is led by Tun himself, since he was the Education Minister at the moment. He noticed that the education on that time doesn't help in developing the Malaysian unity because of the existence of two vernacular Chinese and Indian schools. The result of his effort has introduced Razak Report on the year of 1956. Razak Report is a Malayan educational proposal to reform the education system. Razak Report becomes successful in united the three different races under one education system. Bahasa Melayu later becomes as national language in Malaysian school.
As conclusion for this presentation, the late Abdul Razak Dato' Hussein played a role in the formation of Malaysia as a country that is respected internationally. Service and devotion to the community and country are given priority. The late Abdul Razak was a leader who was sensitive to the problems experienced by the people of this country and a leader who loved peace and development. Was Tun Abdul Razak leadership that founded systematic and through training through the movement boom system. The late Tun Abdul Razak is one of the country figures who have dedicated themselves in the fields of education, development, defense, and socio-economics. The country's progress and the development of the country today is the starting point from Tun Abdul Razak's contribution, such as now we have Felda, Mara, ISDA, and others. Malaysians should be proud because the country gave birth to a leader like him who succeeded in filling independence with true development.